No more definition, just empty, hollow, shapeless existence. And don't think for a second that they don't feel it. Don't think they're out there living their best life while you're here healing. No. They feel every bit of your absence. They feel it in the morning when there's no one to validate their existence. They feel it at night when the silence gets so loud it's deafening. They feel it in every new relationship that doesn't measure up, every new person who can't fill the void you left behind. They thought they could replace you. They thought you were disposable. They thought your love was common, ordinary, easily replicated. But now they know. Now they feel the weight of what they lost. And that weight, it's crushing them slowly, quietly, completely. You don't need revenge.
Right.
You don't need to say a word. Your absence is doing all the work. Your growth is the punishment. Your peace is the violence
That's it.
they never saw coming.
Peace.
I know you still have moments. Moments where you question yourself, where you wonder if you did the right thing,
Right.
where you almost reach for your phone to check on them. That's normal. That's the trauma bond, trying to pull you back. But don't you dare give in. Don't you dare take one step backward after how far you've come.
Right.
You didn't survive all that pain just to go back to the source of it. You didn't crawl through hell just to set up camp there. You didn't wake up just to close your eyes again. Every day you stay away is a victory.
Facts.
Every moment you choose yourself is a rebellion. Every time you resist the urge to check on them, to respond to them, to explain yourself to them, you're proving that they no longer have power over you. And that right there.
Is private student loan debt wrecking your life? You really need to talk to White Refi. White Refi refinances distress.
Right there. That's freedom. Let me tell
Would you still jump down there for that $1 million, goddammit? Huh? Would you still jump down there for that $1 million, goddammit? Huh? We down here looking for the goddamn seagulls this morning, y'all. Listening to the message from the Joker. Joker be on point. And tell Batman I said hello.
happening inside of you right now. Even if you can't fully see it yet, you're transforming. You're shedding skin that was never yours to begin with. All those beliefs they planted in your head, all those lies they made you internalize, all those limitations they convinced you were real, they're falling away piece by piece. You're not the person they said you were. You're not weak. You're not crazy. You're not unlovable. You're not too much or too little or too anything. You're someone who loved with everything they had. You're someone who stayed when most would have left. You're someone who fought for a relationship that the other person was actively destroying. And that takes strength. That takes courage. That takes a kind of resilience that most people will never understand. You weren't weak. You were just loyal to the wrong people. But now your loyalty has shifted.
Right.
Now it's pointed where it always should have been. At yourself.
Facts.
At your own healing. Your own growth. Your own future. You're no longer pouring into empty vessels. You're no longer watering dead gardens hoping flowers will grow.
Right.
You're finally investing in soil that can actually bear fruit.
Right.
And that investment, it's going to pay off in ways you can't even imagine yet. The person you're becoming, the version of you that's emerging from this pain, they're not going to recognize them. They're going to see you and wonder how the hell you did it. How you went from broken to unbreakable. How you went from begging for love to demanding respect. How you went from their victim to their worst nightmare. Because that's what you are now. a nightmare to everyone who underestimated you, a haunting reminder of what happens when you push someone too far, when you take too much, when you assume someone will always be there no matter how badly you treat them. You're not the same person anymore, and you shouldn't want to be. That old version of you, the one who tolerated disrespect, who accepted crumbs, who believed love was supposed to hurt, they had to die. They had to be buried so this new version could rise. And rising you are, slowly maybe, painfully perhaps, but rising nonetheless. Every boundary you set is a brick in your new fortress. Every toxic person you cut off is a chain breaking. Every moment you spend alone, healing, growing, learning to love yourself, is a step toward the life you actually deserve. They needed you weak to feel strong. But now you've reclaimed your power. You've taken back everything they stole. And they've got nothing left. No more supply. No more victim. No more you. So what do they have now? Really think about it. What's left for them? They have to face themselves. They have to look in the mirror without you there to distract them from their own emptiness. They have to sit in the silence without your voice to fill it. They have to feel their own feelings without using yours as a shield. And that's terrifying for someone who's built their entire identity on controlling others. That's devastating for someone who's never developed a real sense of self. That's absolute destruction for someone whose only power came from keeping you powerless. They're exposed now. The mask has slipped, and everyone around them is starting to see what you saw all along. The manipulation, the selfishness, the complete inability to love anyone but themselves. It's all coming to the surface, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. You don't need to watch it happen. You don't need to be there for the collapse. Your job isn't to witness their destruction. Your job is to build your resurrection. Focus on you. Focus on healing those wounds they left behind. Focus on learning the lessons this pain has taught you. Focus on becoming so whole, so complete, so fulfilled that you never again mistake crumbs for a meal. The right people are coming. The ones who will love your strength instead of fearing it. The ones who will celebrate your growth instead of trying to stunt it. The ones who will add to your life instead of draining it. But they can't find you if you're still stuck in the wreckage of what was. Walk away. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with understanding. Understand that they were sick. Understand that hurt people hurt people.
Facts.
Understand that their treatment
fact,
of you
y'all.
was never about
Hurt people, y'all.
but about their lack of
That's
it.
a fact.
And then keep walking. Don't look back. Don't reach back. Don't even think about it.
When jokers say hurt people, that's a fact, y'all. I always get up here and tell y'all in a relationship, you gotta heal before you build. You just can't be jumping out of relationships, y'all. You hear me? You just can't be jumping out of relationships and jumping to other relationships and bringing your baggage from your last relationship to the new relationship because you ain't even give yourself time to heal. Make it make sense though, y'all. How you gonna jump right out of a relationship and jump right back into a relationship and you ain't even give yourself time to heal from the last relationship? You at least need 3 years of healing. If you was in a relationship 5+ years, God damn it. The geese, not the geese. But if you was in a relationship 5+ years and you getting out of a relationship, trying to jump right back into another relationship, you ain't even give yourself time to heal. So how that new relationship ain't gonna work? That's a fact. It's not gonna work, y'all, because you bringing baggage in from your last relationship. And the real motherfucker that then healed from all that drama and all that negativity from relationships, he not or she not going for that. He or she are not going for that shit, y'all. I don't give a damn what you talking. Oh no. Some people jump out of relationships back into another relationship so they can get even with their partner, their former partner. Oh, I'm gonna make him mad or I'm gonna make her mad, and I'm gonna get into another relationship with this person. Playing games, you know what I mean? The games people play in relationships, y'all. Give yourself time to heal before you even think about getting into another relationship, because you gotta heal before you can build. Because if you ain't healed, goddamn it, and you jump into another relationship, that shit ain't gonna work. You understand me? Especially for a person that's seen it and done it already. They can spot that shit at the door. You heard? Like no disrespect to nobody, but they can spot that shit at the door. You know what I'm saying? So I always say that when I come up here, y'all heal before y'all think about building, all right? Because if you jumping out of relationships just to jump into that shit ain't gonna work. And like I said, for a person that's stable, that's already stable, and a person that's getting out of a relationship is not stable, that shit ain't gonna work, because he ain't or she ain't gonna want that drama. They ain't gonna want you to come destroy their peace. You know what I mean? Because that's all it is gonna be. You trying to destroy their peace. And they ain't going for that shit. They not going for that shit, y'all. You understand me? So they'll say, oh, this, that, and the third. This, that, and the third. In a relationship. But they ain't even healed from their last relationship, y'all. They ain't even healed from their last relationship. They jumping right into bringing that drama to a whole new relationship. And if a person awoke, they ain't going for it. They gonna cut that shit short. You know what I mean? They gonna cut that shit short. Like, nah, this person is up to no good. They mean well, but they don't. Because in a relationship, it's 50-50. What do you have to offer? You understand me? What's your offer to a relationship? You bringing drama? Are you bringing skills to build? You understand what I'm saying, peeps? Are you bringing skills to build, or are you bringing drama to the relationship? In a new relationship. And the motherfucker that's stable ain't going for it, because he ain't gonna want his peace interrupted by negativity. You understand me? He ain't gonna want his peace interrupted with all that foolishness and fakeism. You ain't gonna do nothing but make him, he gonna distance himself, or she gonna distance herself from you. They don't want nothing to do with that fucking drama shit. And then not only that, you understand me, peeps? You're not stable. At that point, you looking for somewhere to stay. You looking to use a motherfucker. You understand me? And we know about that in relationships. We talked about that. These females use guys as stepping stones, y'all. And some guys use females as stepping stones. But what I'm saying is this. God damn it. Using a motherfucker for stepping stones, that's that young relationship shit. When you already been there and done that shit, I'm telling you, you paid attention to the signs a long time ago. You'd be damned if you let somebody hoodwink you and bamboozle you into some fuck shit or some foolishness behind their bullshit, right? It's facts. I'm kicking facts to y'all right now. See, I've been there, done that. You understand me? And like I said, in my relationships, y'all, it was ups and it was downs, you know what I'm saying? But I learned from relationships. You're supposed to learn from each relationship, goddammit. So when you recognize some foolishness, you can say, oh, hell no. I don't want nothing to do with this. And you ain't being mean or nothing, but you recognize this shit already. You understand me? You already been there, done that. You going backwards at that point. You gave yourself time to heal just to go backwards? No. Don't work like that. Understand me, ladies and gentlemen? That shit don't work like that. Shit. You put in work to heal. And then here come a motherfucker just like that. I say the devil always working, y'all. Because that devil gonna come your way with some fuck shit and some foolishness just to see if he can break you. Mind over matter, right? Mind over fucking matter, y'all. How the fuck you gonna let a devil come right in and interrupt what you got going on with the Most High? It's not gonna work. If you standing on the Most High shoulders and you fully armed, got your armor on, you got your shield, you got your sword, God damn it, you gonna defeat that motherfucking beast. You know what I mean? You gonna fight that beast and you gonna defeat that beast. Because you know why? You're in line with the Most High. And they are in line with the devil. You see what I'm saying, peeps? That's how that work. You see how that work? God damn it, when you got the armor of the Most High, his shield and sword, God damn it, they can bring them all. God damn it, bring them all. I slaughter all of them, one by one, to test my faith. God damn it, for some pleasure. Fuck that. Fuck that. Ain't that much pleasure in the world, y'all. Ain't that much pleasure in the world over the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a fact, though. That's a fact, y'all. That's why I said over here, we stand on the Most High shoulders, right? We fully armed, y'all. We got our shield and sword. You understand me? And that's a fact. You know what I mean? That shit ain't gonna work over here, y'all. We gonna put you in your place, and if you don't wanna be put in your place, goddammit, you gonna be gone. Goddammit, you gonna be going like a motherfucker. That's a fact. Know what I'm saying, peeps? And like I said, I ain't out here to mash on nobody, but I'm out here to tell the truth, goddammit, and the truth will set you free. And let's get back to overcoming addicted addicts, like the young girl. I put the video up. She used to be down there on 9th and Curling at the gas station. I seen her a few times out there. And I said it to myself. I said, damn, she looked young as a motherfucker, man. At the time, this was a few years back, so if she, 22, 23, whatever, we going back. She been out that motherfucker since she probably was about 18, y'all. Messing with that crack rock. And then she said, if y'all listen, she said, crack is a upper. Crack is a upper. And then he asked her, do you get withdrawals? Right? Do you get withdrawals? She said, no. That's for people that's on dope. What the fuck you think crack is, goddammit? It's dope. That's a 100% fact. Crack is dope, goddammit. It's dope before it's turned into crack. So when she said, nah, I mess with crack. That's an upper. That's hard, y'all, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about. It's cocaine already cooked up, and it's hard. So when they get it, ladies and gentlemen, they can just put it right in the pipe and start smoking that shit. They don't gotta go to the lab, cook it up. You know what I'm saying? That's why they come up with that hard rock, that crack rock. But then most people still know how to turn that cocaine into hard rock. So when she said that, you know right then and there, she ain't know, well, you can tell her stage, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You can tell her stage and shit, like, what she, you know what I mean? Like, you can't tell a crackhead that they got an addiction, right? You can't tell them that shit, y'all. They ain't gonna believe you. They gonna say you hating on them, y'all. How the fuck am I hating on you? And I'm telling you, you got a fucking problem. You got a serious problem. And you don't want to face the facts. God damn it. And the facts is right there in your face. But you'll turn around and try to put everything on the person that's trying to help you. You trying to point out that person's flaws to protect your flaws. You understand what I'm saying? That's when you know that person ain't ready to be helped, y'all. That's a fact. When that person you trying to help, deflecting, right? Deflecting like a motherfucker, and trying to pin everything on the person that's helping them, oh, that's a problem there. Walk away from that, y'all, because they not ready. Because got right then and there, they not even ready to help their self yet, y'all. Because they looking for the blame game. They look for any excuse to protect that rock, that crack rock. That's a fact. They look for every excuse to protect that crack rock, y'all. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, y'all. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, ladies and gentlemen. And we all know that shit. But who do we blame for flooding the communities with that cocaine and that hard rock and that crack rock? Like I said, we don't got no airplanes and boats in the African American communities. God damn it. But like we in 2026, y'all. And if you at a certain age and you still engaging into foolery, you don't want to be helped at that point. You don't want no help. You don't want no help at all. You want to continue on playing the blame game to a person that's trying to help you. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? The blame game, like the interview. She said she looking for help, but look where she was at, y'all. How you looking for help and you on a goddamn stroll? You know what I mean? You on a stroll turning tricks just to get that next fix. And you don't want to admit that shit. You know what I'm saying? No. Where we come from, y'all, we don't get down like that. Like, we see good in a person. Like I said, you always see good in a person until you really engage with them, right? And find out who they really are, y'all. You like, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know their situation, but you try to work with them. And then next thing you know, it's prolonging. They prolonging. Next thing you know, months done went by. You like, man, this is a fucking no-win situation. You heard? This is a no-win situation at this point. God damn it. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so like I said, y'all, that's a no-win situation. When that person constantly playing the blame game and don't want no help, but they constantly playing the blame game, right? And not only that, y'all, listen to this. Listen to this one, y'all. They play the blame game so much, right? Because we all know an addict need that fucking fix, that hit, you know what I mean? That wake up, as they would say. They need that wake up, right? Facts. So they will basically do anything, right? For that wake up. Especially if they broke, they ain't got no money. They blew all their money, right? Soon they got their money. They living on a fixed income, right? And soon they get their bread, first thing they do is what? They paying back all the drug dealers that they got a front from, right? They paying back all the drug dealers they got a front from. And then a little bit of change they got left, right? A little bit of change they got left, what they doing? They looking for rocks. They looking for a wake up. They looking for a wake up. And this cycle constantly go on. So now that they done got their little bit of change to do something strange with, right? Some change, a little bit of change to do something strange. Right? Now they in the same predicament they was just in the previous month. Getting fronts, getting fronted shit. And next thing you know, they right back in the same goddamn circle they been in, y'all. They back in the same fucking circle they just been in, y'all. A revolving door. God damn it. So now, before you even got your monies for next month, you already owe motherfuckers money already. God damn it, how you gonna get your life together and you constantly getting fronts? You constantly getting fronted shit. And then when you get your monies, it's all out the door. You paying back motherfuckers you got credit from. Make it make sense, y'all. That's a problem. That's an addiction. God damn it, that's a fucking addiction. Like a motherfucker. And you can't compare that to a motherfucker that's smoking weed, because the motherfucker that's smoking weed ain't out here getting fronts from motherfuckers. You understand me, peeps? A motherfucker that's out here smoking weed, he like, well, if I ain't got it, I ain't got it. That's not an addiction like crack cocaine, god damn it. It's two different drugs right there. You got weed that was planted on the earth, god damn it, planted, plants, grass, god damn it. It's not no manufactured, man-made drug. God damn it. First of all, the cocaine is man-made, like a motherfucker. And then when you get it and then rock it up, god damn it, what is it? What the fuck is it then? That's man-made. When you got cocaine and you turn it into rock, that's man-made. When you get that cocaine, we already know that shit is cut like a motherfucker. That's man-made. You understand what I'm saying, peeps? So like I said, that motherfucking cocaine is a hell of a drug, y'all. And people that's on it won't realize that shit, y'all. They be in denial about that shit. You heard? They be in denial like a motherfucker, y'all. Looking to blame the person that's trying to help them, looking for their flaws. But then, like I said, some people are out here to use certain people, y'all. People out here to use people, y'all. Only if you let them. Only if you let them use you, y'all. Don't let nobody use you, y'all. That's a fact. Because a motherfucker will bring you down with their motherfucking ass. You ever heard that saying? And I said it before. You hang with a broke motherfucker, eventually you go broke. You understand me? So just imagine you dating a motherfucker that got that fucking problem, y'all. You dating a motherfucker that got an addiction. You can't trust them motherfuckers nowhere. First of all, you can't bring them motherfuckers nowhere with you. Because they constantly scratching, goddammit. Or their fucking nose is leaking. Like a motherfucking flat tire. Goddammit. That's what's happening. Their nose be running. They got the shakes. They always want to go out and let me run out real, let me run in the car so they can hit that rock. You understand what I'm saying, people? That shit is sad, man. That shit's sad, man. That shit killed a lot of motherfuckers, man. That's a fact, man. That fucking cocaine killed a lot of motherfuckers, y'all. And then they mixing it with fentanyl now. You getting that shit mixed with that fentanyl shit now. You know what I mean? You don't know what you getting out here. You know what I mean? How many people y'all know that lost their lives, y'all, behind that fucking crack, y'all? That crack rock. Because they ain't know it was mixed with fentanyl. Or whatever type of drug they mixing this shit with, y'all. You trying to save a motherfucker, they don't want to be saved, y'all. So you might just hear about a person that you tried to save down the road, like, yo, you hear about this person, such and such, you like, damn, it's not gonna be surprising. It's not gonna be surprising, y'all. It's just a matter of time at that point. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time at that point, y'all. You can't help a motherfucker that don't want to help theirself. You understand me? You putting your energy out there trying to save a soul, but how you gonna save a soul that don't want to be saved? They looking for every excuse, y'all. They tap dancing, buck dancing, deflecting. They doing all that shit and try to make it seem like it's you. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But then you got kids and shit. How your kids looking up to you though? That's the crazy part right there. That's being selfish like a motherfucker. Because at this point, it's not even about you. It's about the kids' future. You want the best for your kids and shit. So when you long gone and shit, you don't have to worry about your kids and shit. You understand what I'm saying? This motherfucker right here, I be telling y'all about, where he at? Oh, he must be in the basement. That motherfucker be hitting that joint, boom! You hear me? That's a King Corso. You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all, anywho, they don't want to be saved, y'all, and then not only that, you got kids and shit. Little fat stubby joint. Now I'm saying they got how are your kids looking up to you? You know what I mean? Your kids gonna love you to death, but they like, damn, that shit is embarrassing. That's just like we got social media now, right? We've been had that shit for a minute, and then you find out them kids be getting your mom page. I got your mom page. Your mom a fucking go-go dancer and shit. They got your mom. It's crazy, man. And then kids in school, they like, damn, your mom fit. These youngsters, y'all. That's embarrassing to them kids, man. You know what I mean? How that shit set up and designed, y'all. But like I said, y'all, when a person start deflecting and they looking for every excuse, but to realize that they are the problem, it's not gonna work, y'all. It's not gonna work. Motherfucker can go to the rehab, y'all. Motherfucker can go to the rehab. And if they come home and them same circumstances is inside that house and they only been gone a couple months, guess what, y'all? Guess what? They gonna have a relapse like a motherfucker. And guess what, God? They gonna make up for the time they haven't been getting it in, ladies and gentlemen. So it's gonna be, especially if you got money, shit, they gonna be getting it in, y'all. They gonna be getting it in like a motherfucker. Not giving a fuck about the kids, not giving a fuck about themselves. You constantly calling different drug dealers and shit. One drug dealer don't answer, you calling another one, then you calling another one. Next thing you know, they calling you back after you done already got something. Now you buying more shit. Now you got all this shit. And the kids is upstairs asleep, if not up, watching TV. And you down there smoking. No respect, no regard for the kids and shit. You out that bitch smoking like a motherfucking Navajo. That shit going through the whole house. Smoking that shit. That shit going through the whole house, y'all. And don't have vents, ducts. God damn it. Don't have ducts and shit. Facts. That shit going right through the fucking interrelation system, y'all. It's going right through that shit. That's no regard, no respect for a person. You know what I'm saying? And you sitting there watching all this shit. You watching all this shit like, wow. Shit ain't a movie, this shit real life shit. And it's fucked up. Cause that person is selfish. You understand me? They selfish. Then the motherfucker, y'all. They selfish, y'all. A selfish motherfucker, y'all. And that's all they are, y'all. Selfish. Let me run up in Family Dollar real quick. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, know what I'm saying? That shit is real, y'all. That shit real like a motherfucker, man. You being selfish at that point. Cause you ain't giving a damn about yourself and you ain't giving a damn about people that's around you. You don't love nobody. You in love with that motherfucking rock. I been said that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up, but it's real. Over here, we keep it 100. We don't pull no punches, y'all. We don't pull no fucking punches. We call that shit how it is. Know what I mean? We call that shit how it is. And like I said, man, you go to the head, but if you come home and that same environment and the same shit is going on, you're gonna fall right back into that shit, man. And you're gonna double up and you're gonna make up for the time you lost. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. That's why I said, man, ain't that little 30 days, the 90-day shit, that shit out the door. You at least need a year. You know what I mean? You need a year away from that shit, y'all. Straight up. You gotta be strong, man. You showing the peoples that you weak. You weak-minded. And you looking for any excuse to defend that fucking rock. But I said it, and I said it before. A motherfucker said, if you hanging on a fucking ledge down the waterfront where that $1 million was at, that I was telling y'all, and you hanging, and you need a motherfucker to help you, pull you up, but right next to you, that's hanging too, is that crack rock. Who you think they gonna save, y'all? Huh? Who you think they gonna save? They gonna save that crack rock. They gonna let your ass drown. That's a fact. A 100% fact, man. Why? Because they're addicted to that shit. That's a problem that they don't even want to realize that they have. You know, all your money is going to who? The drug dealer. That's where all your money going at. You don't never have no money that'll last you into the next month because all your shit be going within that what, y'all? That week, from the time they get it, within that week, that money going, y'all. You know what I mean? Now they back on the motherfucking drug dealer more money, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Credit. And then the drug dealer gonna start getting tired of that shit. You know what I mean? He gonna start getting tired. And then next thing you know, you looking for another motherfucking drug dealer to get more. Now you got 5 different drug dealers you got credit from. You got 5 different drug dealers that you just got credit from. You know what I mean? Facts, not fiction, y'all. Little Hyundai right here, 2450, 08. This little John can get it too, y'all. Little hoopty, little run around joint. You know what I mean? Little run around joint. But what I'm saying is this, ladies and gentlemen, they got cars over there too, y'all. All over there. You constantly looking for that fix. That's what you looking for. You out here hitting corners so you can get some money for that next hit. Or like they say, you calling the drug dealer, get in the front for a wake up. Constantly. Next thing you know, you're the drug dealer before you even get your bread. And the drug dealer know when you get your bread, because you told him several times. And then he know where you at. He come beating your door down like the police. He come beating your door down like the police. Right? Facts. And then if you ducking him, then he ready to put hands and feet on you, blacken your eyes and shit. Literally beat the dog shit out you for that bread. Or then, not only that, you fuck around and turn trick just to settle that debt. Pull your little panties down and shit to handle that debt. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, even give him a blowjob just to handle that debt, yeah? Y'all know the game. And you still gonna owe him a couple dollars. Cause that just was half of what the fuck you owed him. That just was half. You know what I mean? And it's sad, man. It's sad. And then you got 1,000 Johns calling your phone to turn a trick. You know what I'm saying? You got 1,000 Johns calling your phone. And you constantly see that person street walking. You know what's up. You know what's up. That person looking for that goddamn next wake up. That wake me up. Let me get a wake up. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here with that shit, man. You got a problem at that point. You know what I'm saying? You got an addiction. You got a problem that you don't want to address. You running from it. You tap dancing from your problems. And you trying to push your problems on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You trying to push your problems on everybody else because you don't want to deal with your situation. You understand me? The truth will set you free. I know you heard that before, right? When you so in denial about what you got going on, you don't want to get no help. You know what I'm saying? You in denial about yourself at that point. You don't want no help. You want to keep partying like a rock star out this motherfucker until you get that one wrong bag. Until you get that one wrong bag that's gonna set you free for the rest of your life. God damn it. And people don't be shocked because they know. They don't be shocked and amazed because they know. Oh man, it was a matter of time before they got a bad bag, you know what I'm saying? With that fentanyl and that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. And you like, damn, you heard about such and such? Nah, what happened? Oh man, they got a bad bag and shit. And then you like, damn. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of time. Because you knew their lifestyle. You knew how they was living. And they do anything for that wake up. The drug dealer don't know what he's selling. He just bagging it, selling it. He don't know if it's fentanyl or not. He just getting the product and he's selling it. God damn it. At that point, like I said, you selfish. That person is selfish than a motherfucker, y'all. Like I said, the rehab, these days you need a good year in that motherfucker. Some motherfuckers might need longer. That old 90 days, 6 month shit. And they right back out. They ain't gonna do nothing but get right back into the same situation. Ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because they surrounded around that shit. You know what I'm saying? They surrounded around that shit, y'all. You can witness a motherfucker go to the rehab and get out. And he start craving, or she start craving for that rock. Here, go get me a bag. You know what I mean? Then boom. Next thing you know, they chasing that motherfucker, y'all. They chasing that motherfucker. They spending every last dime in their fucking pocket. Chasing that fucking rock, y'all. Straight up. Straight up. And you see some motherfuckers don't even, their hygiene is all fucked up from chasing that shit. They don't even give a fuck about their hygiene, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because you constantly turning tricks and shit. You in and out of cars and shit. I don't give a fuck if you using protection. You still sucking dick. God damn it. You still out this motherfucker turning tricks. That's a fact. That's nasty, man. Straight up. Straight the fuck up, man. And like I said, some people, you can't save them, y'all. Because they too far gone. And they looking for every excuse. Like I said, every fucking excuse in the book to defend that rock. And you'll see them down the road a whole new year. And the motherfucker say, this is my New Year resolution. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Man, 24 hours later, what they doing, y'all? What they doing, y'all? Facts, not fiction. They getting it. Know what I'm saying? They getting it like a motherfucker. Filling them lungs up with that poison. You know what I mean? That devil smoke. Filling their lungs up with that devil smoke. You know what I mean? Yeah, the young lady though, Chantel, she used to be down there on 9th and Curlin. A couple of these young girls out here lost their life behind that shit too, y'all. A couple of them lost their life behind that shit, y'all. Facts. And guess what? At the end of the day, life goes on, y'all. Life goes on like a motherfucker. They say care for you for those moments. But then eventually, guess what? Well, what's going on next, y'all? What's happening next? That's how it is. That's a fact, not fiction. Get and smoke your life away. Die out this motherfucker. Because what? You're selfish. You're a selfish motherfucker at the end of the day, you heard? Straight selfish. But with that being said, y'all, just wanted to get out, touch bases with y'all. Let y'all know some people don't want to be saved, y'all, and you can't save them, y'all. So guess what? You just say fuck it and let the life jacket go. Right? Till the next time, y'all. Stay up, y'all. Stay up, y'all. Facts. Stay up, y'all. Don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleep. Stay up.